One of the big challenges that English teachers are facing right now during distance learning is how to conduct writing conferences with our students. And that might be a peer editing or a peer revising session, or that might be a teacher and student writing conference. But it's really challenging to try to give kids some really focused attention on their writing right now because it's so hard for us to share our work and meet in person. So, one way to facilitate those conversations is with a Google Jamboard. The best way to think about a Jamboard is it's basically a digital whiteboard, just like the one that you would have in your classroom. Jamboards have really simple tools. There's a marker, and if you click here, you can change the color, you can change the width or the style of the marker. There's an eraser, a selection arrow, sticky notes, insert image, a circle, and really this is a shape tool, so you can change the shape to a couple of different options. There's a text box, and then there's a laser pointer, so you can use it just like you would in class with your kids. You also only have some pretty basic options as to what the background looks like, because remember, it's just supposed to be like your whiteboard in the classroom. And then this is clear frame. We do not want kids to touch this. If I hit clear frame, of course it wipes everything out. I can just bring it back by clicking undo. But if someone else clicks clear frame that has access to my Jamboard, I'm not able to recover that information. So just something to know right here about clear frame. This is the frame bar, so it's going to show me all of the frames in my deck, and I can navigate to the different frames just by clicking here. Okay, so for the assignment, what I've done is I've asked kids to choose one of those frames as their workspace and then add a label so that we know that that's theirs. They're going to click on this text box right here in the center and copy and paste just a section of their writing that they want their editors or their feedback partners to consider. And then what we want is for kids to be really specific about where they need help. What is it that they need feedback on? What do they want us, their partner, their writing partner, to think about? And they can add that question on a post-it so that we know what they need. I'm going to zoom out again so we can see here is that text box in the middle, and I've left them a post-it that says I need help with. And then these post-its are for writing partners so that they can leave some feedback. So I've done my sample paragraph here in the center. I added my name to this post-it, and then here is what I needed help with. And I said my explanation is a little thin. What else should I say to explain my point? I also added a little disclaimer here for anyone in my writing group to feel free to edit my paragraph if they see any mistakes. Some kids don't want anyone else to kind of tinker with their piece. So if they don't want anyone to edit their writing, they might want to put a little note here. And then I've got feedback from 2 of my partners already. So Tony gave me some feedback about something more that I can elaborate on, and so did Emily. I've got 2 other writing partners in my group that haven't given me any feedback, and I'm just going to wait and come back to this later when I'm ready to work on my essay and talk about this with my group. So when I'm ready to do some revision on my final draft or on my next draft, I can come back here and find the feedback from my partners. Now, we did talk about the clear frame button, which is right here. And again, we don't want kids to touch this because if they do, so let's say that Tony was looking at my piece and accidentally clicked clear frame. If Tony wipes that out, I can't recover it. And so I would just end up losing all of that work and all of that feedback. And I know that's something that's going to make all of us a little bit nervous. So if you feel like your class can handle it, this is a great tool to use and to set up as a Jamboard Google conference, a writing conference. You can go right here to my sample Jamboard and just click make a copy for your classes. If you don't want to try this in Jamboard, another simple option is to just do this in Google Slides. So I've got my directions here on the first slide, and then on the second one, I've claimed this one as my own. And here is my paragraph. And my partners have again left me their feedback on the post-its that I made around my slide. Here's the one from me where I explain to them where I need help. And then when my partners are ready, they can drop their work here. So maybe this next one is going to be Tony's work, and then Emily, Tracy, and Kelly, and then the group of us, the rest of us, can leave our feedback on their work. So just another way to do that, and just like all Google Slide pieces, just like all Google Slides, you can go into the revision history and see who made which changes, who left which feedback, and if someone deletes something by accident, you can restore that information. I know that trying to do a writing group can be pretty challenging just because there are so many pieces to juggle. How do I get all of my kids in the right place? How do I share the writing group slides with them? And remember, I can go in here to file and just keep making a copy. So I might make a copy for group 1 or group 2 or group 3 so that every small group has the chance to work in the document together. I really do want to keep these groups small. If I was working face-to-face with my class, I wouldn't put the entire class into one slide deck or into one Google Drawing or into one Jamboard. I would want to keep those writing groups a little bit smaller and a little bit more intimate so that they get more comfortable giving each other feedback. And one way to do that is with Julie Morgan's table groups. This is a great idea for getting kids into collaborative groups and helping them get a little bit more comfortable with each other. So what Julie's done is set up this document as her table groups, and every student chooses a desk at one of the tables, just like they were walking into the physical classroom on any given day, and they're going to choose who they want to, quote, sit with. So as we're getting into distance learning, these tables become their discussion groups, they become their writing groups, they become partner pairs. And what she's done here is have kids sort of group themselves. Sometimes, depending on the grade level, your kids might know each other already, or you might decide that you want to go ahead and group kids yourself if you've got a feel for them as writers and as students. So for this particular assignment, what I've made are my writing groups. So the concept is the same. I'm going to ask my kids to choose their writing group, or I might pick for them if I feel like I know which groups I want to, which kids I want to group together. And then I can create the Jamboard for this particular group and link it here so that everybody in this group will know exactly where to go for collaborative time. Same thing if I was using slides, I can put my group members' names here, and then when they're ready to get into their writing, they're going to go to their Google Slides writing group. And it's just a simple way to try to manage all of the different groups and all of the different pieces that they're going to juggle as they're working on their writing together. I hope those are some good solutions that you can use with your students. If you need any help with that, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to come and set these up with you and help you manage these with your kids and get your students writing and collaborating with Jamboard and Google Slides.